Can you kind of explain to people what an accelerator is, um, and what they can gain or benefit from being in these types of programs? Because you mentioned a lot of things with regard to like financials and structures and things like that. And um, let's say that someone is in the ed tech space or in another technology space, so they have subject matter expertise in terms of a particular industry that they're familiar with, and then they're bringing in technical expertise. So whether we're talking about software, hardware, etc., but then there is, and perhaps they worked in a corporate environment, so they're familiar with those types of structures. But now you're
Mhm.
talking about a startup, you're talking about funding. There's Series A, Series B. There are all these terms that are being, and you said that they should take the opportunity to learn. So is this a space that's conducive to learning? Like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Very much so, Mark. Yeah, so that's what accelerators are. So, accelerators are incubators. And then that's another term that you may not be familiar with, but incubators are places where you can go to learn all of these different things that you may not be privy to due to the fact that you spend a lot of time on the subject matter expert space for your actual specific solution. So, what we do in an accelerator, especially at Learn Launch, a EdTech specific accelerator, where there's not many um, market specific accelerators out there, which is quite unique to Learn Launch Funding Accelerator, where we're able to surround founders with unique, specialized information that would get them to market and get them to scale. And our program is actually called Breakthrough to Scale, where they're able to learn these things. They're able to learn exactly how to look at their theory of change, where you're able to understand exactly where you're going with the where who are the people you're actually impacting, where you're able to understand metrics. We teach metrics, and we have a portion of this accelerator called how to measure hard to measure things. That is a big piece of what I spoke about earlier: understanding your startup, understanding what's going on, understanding how metrics work within your within your startup. And that I know that's a big gap for a lot of startups. How do I actually measure my KPIs? How do I my key performance indicators? How do I measure what's going to measure the impact that I'm making on my beneficiaries or my customers? And then we also go into a good bit, a little bit about finances and financial structures. And the biggest thing we do. Um, what the biggest thing I would definitely tell anyone who's looking to learn these things fast is to join an accelerator, due to the fact that the curriculum is amazing. You're going to you will be able to learn a lot due to the fact that accelerators have been going on for a long time. They're very competitive, and each one of them has a unique value proposition, in the sense of who their network is, and then also how they are approaching startups. But one big thing I would definitely tell anybody who's moving into who wants to grow or accelerate their companies. Again, the term accelerator is a business accelerator. So we accelerate um, the time it would take for you to be able to learn all of the things that I mentioned before. And but I would definitely tell you that the community that surrounds these startups, to where any question that you have, they're one Slack message away, they're one email away. And if you're a diligent founder and you actually learning your business the way that I believe that a successful startup founder should be, then you will ask the right questions. For our actual accelerator, we have venture partners that work directly with our cohort, and these venture partners are subject matter experts in the education space. Accelerators across the nation has these type of programming. They have Techstars. I worked with Techstars for a while before I came to Learn Launch. We have mentors. There's mentors that surround these companies, and that would help you learn all the things that you don't need. I'm sorry, all the things that you do need um, uh, to be able to grow the company, where you have a blind side to in that space without having to pay them, or with having to spend millions of dollars on consulting, or either even going back to school for an MBA. So accelerators are definitely a strong and powerful tool to be able to move you forward, because and I would definitely add this, that the capital that's given is literally the smallest value proposition of any accelerator. Some accelerators are not do not invest. um, our specifically Learn Launch, we do invest. We do an equity investment. Um, but the biggest value proposition of all these accelerators is the access piece that I spoke about earlier. Access to these different mentors within their network, and it's my job and everyone's job at the accelerator to make those connections. And so any key specific type of questions that you may have as a founder, an accelerator can answer those questions quickly so that you can get to scale or break through the scale. No pun intended for our accelerator.
How can they get in touch with you?
Our accelerator is open right now. Actually, it closes March 18th. So to connect with our EdTech Accelerator, you can go to learnlaunch.com, and then right at the homepage, it has apply now. But it also has a lot of our information. And part of our process is that you come to either one of our info sessions that's happening now every Thursday up until March 18th, where myself or one of my colleagues will be giving out information on the accelerator. You could sign up for those from the website as well, and then also if you want to get in touch with me directly, you can find me on LinkedIn, Martin Chaplin. That's usually where actually all of my social media is at the moment. I'm specifically focused on LinkedIn. I kind of took a break from Instagram. I kind of tap in here and there. Or Twitter, I tap in here and there, but for the most part, I'm on LinkedIn. So it's Martin Chaplin. Is a very generic name, but for the most part, I don't think anyone haven't had too many having a hard time finding me. But drop me a line via DM if you have any questions around the accelerator I work for. I work with Learn Launch Funding Accelerator, or if you have any questions as a founder, how to how to think about things as you're starting up and moving into scaling your company. If I have the time on my calendar, I'll drop you my Calendly link. We could sit down and have a coffee chat. I don't have a problem with that at all. I want to help founders. I want to help startups get to the place that they need. I want to make sure I'm closing the access gap for Black and Brown founders and women founders that's not receiving the capital that they're looking for. Yeah, I mean, definitely reach out to me via DM there, and then I'll be able to give you my email if I see that it makes sense for us to be able to have some synergies where I can actually help you out.